We will have a personal tribute from Mr. Paul Ware, who happens to be attorney at law, and he's also the manager of Tech's Technology and Utilization and Patent Office.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom. Tom's already told you who I am, so it's nice to be reminded. Dr. Stone, Mr. Dumas, and other honored guests. I will attempt on these short opening remarks to give you something of the flavor of the heroic man, Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., who is the reason for our meeting. He was always called ML by the people who knew him and also by his family. Michael Luther King and Alberta Williams, ML's father and mother, were married on Thanksgiving Day of 1926 at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia, where her father, Dr. A.D. Williams, was pastor. ML was the middle child of 3 born of that union. His sister, Christine, the eldest, and his brother, A.D., the youngest. A.D. had been born for the maternal grandfather. After the death of Dr. Williams, Reverend Michael King was made pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta and became the most affluent and powerful black minister in Atlanta. Upon his return to Atlanta from a trip to the Holy Land and to the World Baptist Alliance held that year in Berlin, Germany, where he visited the historic site where Martin Luther had defied the Catholic Church, Reverend Mike King honored the occasion by changing his name from Michael to Martin. Thus, he became Martin Luther King. He also changed his oldest son's name to Martin Luther King, Jr. So that's the chronology of the name. When ML was 15 in 1944, he entered Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. ML and I graduated in the class of 1948 with 130 other Morehouse men. The closeness and the brotherhood of love that Morehouse men feel for each other after having survived the crucible that is Morehouse is legendary among black colleges. After graduation from Morehouse, ML attended Crozer Theological Seminary in Chester, Pennsylvania, where he was valedictorian of his class. ML obtained his doctorate from the School of Theology at Boston University. When ML accepted the position of pastor of a very deeply divided Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama, I was already in Montgomery, employed as chairman of the physics department at strictly segregated Alabama State College, parenthesis for Negroes. This was a most oppressive, close the parenthesis now, please. This was a most oppressive time in the South, and particularly in the southeast region, Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, through there. Racial intimidation was absolute and unrelenting, particularly in Alabama. Almost everyone in the world knows of Mrs. Rosa Parks' ordeal and the resultant civil rights movement that followed. ML was honored in 1964 as the youngest Nobel Peace Laureate ever. But what of the dream? Has there been any concrete realization? What of ML's assassination? Was a resultant purpose worthy of the cost of his life served? What has been ML's legacy? Has our society gained from his life and from his death? I don't really have answers to those questions. I can only offer a purely subjective and personal observation. With ML's murder on that fateful date, April 4th, 1968, I lost a friend and a beloved Morehouse brother, and his family lost a husband and father. In my mind and heart, the personal loss was too great a price to pay to serve any idealistic purpose. I will remain eternally sad at the loss of M.L. King, Jr. Thank you for your attention.